Daria Kasatkina and Naomi Osaka are in the Indian Wells final, and it's not 2024. Here's my preview and prediction for the women's final. Hey guys, welcome back to the tennis vlog. Two things before we get started. Number one, subscribe if you haven't done so already. And number two, I want to apologise for not doing any ATP preview and predictions this fortnight for Indian Wells. It's not because I don't want to, because I love talking about the ATP, but with scheduling and my own schedule during the week, it's just not being able to happen. So with the Miami Open and the Miami Masters, of course, over the next couple of weeks, I will make extra certain to have some men's preview and predictions going up. So now that's out of the way, let's get to the main subject of this video, the women's final, world number 44 Naomi Osaka against world number 19 Daria Kasatkina. Who would have thought it? Even though Belinda Bencic made her giant-slaying run to the 2015 Rogers Cup title at the age of 18, it still feels strange that two 20-year-olds are facing off for the Indian Wells Trophy, one of the biggest titles in tennis, especially when they're both younger than myself. I mean, this doesn't usually happen at this stage. But one thing I have to say is that it's clear that neither of these two players have fluked it. Both of them have been on the tennis radar for years, and they have come through quality opposition to get to this final round. And this fortnight they have been confirming that they are a big part of the future of the game. In fact, they may represent the polar opposites of the next era. Osaka is very aggressive, big serve, big forehand, big ground strokes from the baseline, can get the depth and the placement. And in contrast, Kasatkina is a pretty defensive player, a counterpuncher. She's been whipping the drop shot out to great effect this fortnight. So let's start by taking a look at both players' runs to the final, beginning with Osaka, who will be playing her 7th match of the tournament on Saturday, having been unseeded and therefore not gaining a first round bye. As you can see here, a pretty notable name in every round, starting with 5-time Grand Slam champion Maria Sharapova and then Wimbledon finalist Agnieszka Radwanska, a former world number 2, two players of opposing styles as I mentioned in the last video, but Osaka still beat them both in straight sets, and that scoreline against Radwanska fairly straightforward. America's Sasha Vickery was a great junior player, and she finally looks to be finding a bit of form on the senior tour, but Osaka put a halt to her run in the third round. In round 4, the powerful Maria Sakkari. Osaka had the better mindset in the final set of that clash, which was closely fought in that second set, as you can see. But as impressive as her opening 2 wins were Osaka's most recent two former world number 1s in Karolina Pliskova and Simona Halep, the latter who is still at the world number 1 ranking, and in both matches combined she dropped a total of 8 games, which is pretty decent in the latter stages of one of the biggest tournaments in tennis. More impressive still, Osaka had lost her previous 3 meetings against Halep and had never beaten her, so that was a maiden win and she did it in style. So 3 former world number 1s beaten there by Naomi Osaka, and when we look over to Daria Kasatkina's run, she has not had it easy either. In fact, she has beaten 4 straight Grand Slam champions. Having received a first round bye, she eased her way past Katerina Siniakova, a promising Czech player, and then faced with US Open champion Sloane Stephens, who has been struggling of late, she did not let up. Her win over number 2 seed Caroline Wozniacki, who has been one of the most informed players of the past few months, was mightily impressive, winning that one in straight sets against one of the game's best counterpunchers. And just to show how well prepped she was by that match, she went on to demolish Angelique Kerber, who has been looking to be coming back into form this year after a poor 2017 season. Her lefty angles were no match for Kasatkina, who just seems to be in a zone this fortnight. She lost just 2 games there, as you can see, and in her latest round she showed that she can also fight it out. Venus Williams was yet to drop a set this tournament. She'd beaten Serena, Anastasia Sevastova, Carla Suarez Navarro, and she had 1 foot in the final after winning the first set, but Kasatkina fought back, and that is going to stand her in good stead for the final, knowing that she can come through a battle against one of the game's very best players. It's really unusual that you see 2 very tough paths on the way to a final like that, especially won by players who were not expected to get there in the first place. Usually there's one road that was slightly softer. And in terms of talent, Osaka and Kasatkina have everything it takes to be the future of the game. And now the run-up to the prediction, which I love so much. Despite Osaka's recent improvements, I think Kasatkina still seems to have the more mature head on her shoulders and the better mentality, and that can count for a lot in finals. She has also won a WTA title and reached 2 more WTA finals, one of them being a premier event, and that was only last month. Osaka, meanwhile, has never won a WTA title and has only reached 1 official WTA final. You know, it's becoming quite the WTA trend for 20-year-olds to rocket straight to prestigious titles. Kasatkina's slice is great, and her movement has looked effortless lately. She seems to have so much time to adjust and position for the next ball, even when she's on the back foot against power players. She just reads the ball so well, and the pace of the courts here is pretty helpful to her, I would say. Osaka, for all her undeniable talent, is currently ranked world number 44 and reached her career high ranking of number 40 back in 2016, so she has spent 2 whole seasons pretty much practically stalling. And for a girl of her insane talent and potential, that shouldn't really be happening for so long. Everyone has stumbles, but for that length of time, that is a bit concerning and shows that there is some element that isn't quite where it should be. And for me, I've always believed that that is her mindset and her mentality, which is the foundation for all of someone's game. Every win, every shot, every placement, and every strike of the ball is based upon your mentality at the foundation. So as is probably the issue for many players, I would say that Osaka's head game is a core part of her struggles over the past couple of years, or has been. Use proper English. And here I will quickly plug an interview I had with Osaka back in June last year, link in the description. This was after the only time I've ever yet seen her play live. It was courtside in Nottingham, and she absolutely clashed against a qualifier who had not played on grass courts before that season. Throughout the match she appeared pretty defeatist, and afterwards she described herself as feeling depressed. To her credit, she did stay around for much of the next few days in order to practice and to improve. As I said in the previous video, new coach Sasha Bajin has been a tremendous help to Osaka because he just seems to get her. He really knows how to get her head in the game. He has a wealth of experience in coaching, and he has decent results to back up his expertise. Interestingly enough, Osaka showed traces of her wobbly mentality again in her recent victory over Halep, which you wouldn't think looking at the scoreline. She won 6-3, 6-love. After winning that first set 6-3, she appeared quite down on herself. She called Sasha down for some on-court coaching at the changeover. During that chat, in various ways, he told her multiple times that he didn't want to see any more negativity from her. He had a great way of talking to her, of making her feel good about what she was doing, of putting her at her ease and making her see what she needed to work on, and after that coaching chat, she did not lose another game. Obviously, there's more to tennis than a magical change in attitude, but the mindset and the mentality is the foundation of everyone's game. And therefore, despite the fact that the match is going to be on the racket of the aggressive player 99% of the time, I would almost definitely be calling Kasatkina to win this match if it were at a Grand Slam tournament. Because at slams there are no coaching visits allowed. Once you are on that court, you are 100% on your own to figure it out and to keep yourself in a positive place. I don't think it's a coincidence that Osaka has lost twice to Simona Halep at Grand Slams, one of those occasions only 2 months ago, but thrashed her in Indian Wells. I know I tend to go a bit OTT and stress how hard every single prediction is, but this one is definitely the toughest of this tournament so far, especially given that there is no head-to-head between the players to go off. Funnily enough, they were on court together at the beginning of the tournament for a WTA PR stunt. They couldn't have planned that one any better. My instinct is calling Kasatkina, but while she beat Venus Williams, she had to go to the brink to do so. Meanwhile, Osaka beat Halep, a defensive player, mercilessly. Maybe it's over the top for me to put so much emphasis on this partnership between Bajin and Osaka, but I truly believe this is what's going to help her make her breakthrough. And indeed, you could call this tournament already a breakthrough for her, given her recent results. When I predicted against Kasatkina earlier this week, she ended up winning for the loss of 2 games. But Osaka is a completely different player to Kerber, massive serve, massive strokes, as we've said, and she is in her own little zone at the moment, same as Kasatkina. This clash could simply come down to consistency. Kasatkina is going to be scrambling like mad, she's going to be returning deep and throwing in the drop shot. But if Osaka can get the depth on her shot, then she can get the win. This could be horrendously, terribly wrong, as all predictions could, but I am going to be very risky and pick Naomi Osaka to win in straight sets. So there you go. Thank you for watching yet again. Thank you to everyone who's watching the channel for the first time, remember to subscribe. When we hit 1,000 subscribers, I am doing a Q&A video and we will be doing a giveaway as well, so hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave a comment and let me know your prediction for this match and your prediction for the men's final as well, which I'm sure will be great. There's a really good semi-final lineup there. I will be back with more preview and predictions videos for the Miami Open. I will also be trying to upload content on my website, the Tennis Journal, link in the description. So again, thank you for watching and I will see you next time.